Going live. Okay, we're live. All right.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Masterclass with Mika Lastrilla. To introduce our how should we call it? Guest. To
Yeah,
introduce
that's fine.
our guest for today, let me tell you a little background about him. In 2012, Mikhail or Mika Lastrilla graduated magna cum laude from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, with a Bachelor of Music degree in piano performance. During his time in UP, he won first place in the 2008 UP piano competition and second place, no first place prize was given in the 2010 National Music Competition for Young Artists. From 2016 to 2018, after being awarded a prestigious Fulbright scholarship, he continued his piano studies abroad at the University of Kansas Lawrence and earned a master's degree in piano performance. Let's welcome Mikhail Lastrilla.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to hear the students perform and to share whatever I can with them.
Yeah, I think we can start with Colleen. Are you ready,
Okay.
Colleen? Is her camera angle okay po?
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll just chat you when it's parang last 5 minutes na lang po.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Colleen. I think your sound is. Could
Oh,
you
sorry.
turn on the original sound? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, happens.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna bow again.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. Yay. Thank you. Thank you for that performance. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate the way you're phrasing each of the motif. You would do a crescendo and then a diminuendo. Yeah, I appreciate that. That was coming out pretty clearly. I also appreciate the leveling you would do in the sequences. Like whenever when you had this part, and then it would get softer. Yeah, I appreciate your sense of dynamic control. So I think
Okay, thank
that's
you.
pretty well done.
I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
I executed it properly, but yeah.
I could hear it. Yeah, it was clear. It was coming through. And then it was also coming through in page 2 when you have the, and then, yeah, that is good. So it's very important that you have those levels. Um, and
Sorry, is
then
it
at,
okay if you also turn on your original sound? Because I
oh,
can't.
okay, sorry. Is it getting
No,
short?
no
Okay,
worries.
let me look for that. Um, I think it's up. Yeah. Can you hear me better?
Uh, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, turn on the original sound. Maybe I'll just speak a bit more loudly. But okay, I guess we can start at the ending. You can do just a tiny bit of ritardando, just in the last measure. So if it's too much, I'll let you know. But could you start from just the last measure? Just do. Let me know if you can hear the piano. I'll just put up the volume also. So it's not. Yeah, try to slow down a bit.
Wait. Wait, can I look at my music really quick?
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah,
Just so I know where
yeah, no
I'm. The
problem.
last measure, right?
Yeah, just the last measure. And you can have it in front of you. I don't mind.
Okay. Oh.
Is it easier if, yeah, is it more comfortable if you start from a measure before? Yeah, you can start,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you can start earlier. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, good. Yeah, your Rotterdam is very natural sounding. That's not automatic. A lot of people, when they slow down, it sounds a bit awkward, but you're doing it in a
Yeah.
very smooth, natural way. Could you do a bit less, just for stylistic purposes? So
A
we're
bit
playing,
less?
yeah, so you can slow down, but lessen it, so make it a bit subtler, just so it fits the Baroque style of the piece.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so somewhere in between the two. So I'll try to copy what you did the first time. So the first time you were doing something like, so it's a pretty big ritardando.
Yeah.
So we want the same. Wait, let me describe it a bit more clearly. So the nice thing that you did with that first time is you started slowing down at the start of the measure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, the second time you played it, you slow down only in the second half of the measure.
Oh.
So yeah, try to start slowing down at the start of the measure, but
Also.
just lessen it. Yeah. So you can think of it this way: when you slow down, just lower the volume, not the volume, the speed a tiny, tiny bit. Yeah, just for example, if you're playing here at say 70 beats per minute, you can lower it to 66 or 67, something like that. Yeah, just a tiny, tiny drop in the tempo will automatically sound like a ritardando. So instead of like gradually slowing down, it's just a sudden drop, but a very tiny sudden drop. So that's actually a that's not so well known. I think a lot of people, when they think of a ritardando, they think of a gradual descent in the speed. And that's mostly the correct way to do it. But there's the alternate ways to just drop the speed suddenly. And then it's kind of like terraced speed. Instead of having it gradually slow down, you can actually slow down by dropping
But
the
just
speed.
drop it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but just a tiny, tiny bit. So try that out. Let's see if that works out well.
oh wait, is that alright if I try again?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, give it a few shots. It's a bit strange at first. Okay. Try it again, and then try not to get softer, because we want the ending to be a bit more assertive.
Oh,
It's not
assertive? Okay.
yeah, it's not an ending that kind of wilts and fades out, because
Okay.
yeah, this piece gets more intense towards the end, because you have this long build up right there. It's yeah, so it's a tense ending, and it kind of ends with a bit more of an energetic stance. It's not
Also
a
more
kind.
energetic?
Yeah, yeah. So don't get softer. Just slow down a bit. So you can do so. Something like that. Okay, that's better. That's better. Okay, let's do it one more time, because I also want to check out the other spots in the piece. So, um, I guess what I'm trying to look for is something like the first time you played it, because you started slowing down here, really in the start of the measure. So try to do that again. Again, no diminuendo, and then make sure you start slowing down at the start of the measure. So just drop the speed the moment you play.
Just drop it. Okay.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. I'll let you know if it's too much, but just as an
Okay.
experiment. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So you can practice that a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the idea is the music is fully energetic as it reaches the last measure, but you're just injecting a few drops of ritardando. So again, it should sound something like this. Sorry. Yeah, so we don't want it to be. Yeah, so just a tiny, tiny bit. So it shouldn't be too much. It shouldn't be like. Yeah, that one is too much already. So somewhere in between that. Okay, let's move on to another spot, or to another detail. So with these Baroque pieces, you should play them a bit less legato than, for example, a romantic piece. Have you
Yeah.
played any romantic pieces or even some modern pieces before?
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. So generally, these Baroque pieces, they were composed for the harpsichord. The harpsichord's like the ancestor of the piano. It's the older version of the piano, and they didn't have dynamics. So however you press them, the same volume would come out. And most relevant, I guess, for playing on the piano nowadays is the fact that the harpsichord had a plucked sound. It sounded like a guitar being plucked. Because if you look inside the harpsichord, it's like a piano, but instead of hammers hitting the strings, it's actually tiny pluckers that kind of do that to the strings. So it's actually it's very similar to a guitar, the sound of a guitar being plucked. So what does that mean for you and your playing? That means the sound is much less legato than the modern piano. So the pianos that we hear right now, the sound is very full. when you play any note, the sound keeps going on for quite a while. Whereas in the harpsichord, it's just plucked and then it's suddenly really quiet. So it's somehow we have to carry over that sound onto the modern piano. At least that's one approach. It doesn't have to be completely, it doesn't have to be the most important thing, but when you play these Baroque pieces, you can use a bit more non-legato. So there's a difference between legato and staccato, right? Non-legato is just in between. So legato means there's overlap between the notes. So for example, this would be legato, right? There's overlap between the notes. And staccato is no, there's a gap between the sound. There's a silence between. Non-legato is just, there's no overlap, but there's also no gap between the sound. Like there's completely no overlap. And there's also, it's also not staccato. So it's neither legato, it's also not staccato. So when you play, try not to overlap the notes so much. Yeah, well, the eighth notes you're doing them pretty well already. You can play those staccato. Could you try just the right hand? Yeah, try to lessen the overlap. So no overlap. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, try it a bit faster. So not. Yeah, that's it. That's better. Okay. So I guess most important for getting the right style is, let me just switch over to sheet music. When you're moving between the beats, so for example, this is one beat in, sorry, let me redraw that. This is one beat, and then this is another beat. Try to make sure that there's actually a tiny, tiny gap between the beats. So
between
this,
the beats?
in other words,
Okay.
yeah. So generally it's non-legato, and then here there's a tiny, tiny gap in the sound. Yeah, yeah. That one's a bit picky. So if you're not able to do it right away, that's okay. But in other words, the sound is, so it's not like that. It's, so there's a difference between, and yeah, I don't know if it's coming across. Yeah, but
get it.
there's a
I get
there's a tiny gap, yeah, between those. Try it out.
Wait.
Something like that. Yeah. So the sound's starting to get clearer now. Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can apply that to the rest of the piece once, if you keep working at it. Again, this is not something I came up with. This is something that was taught to me during harpsichord lessons. I took harpsichord lessons before, and that is one thing that was pretty emphatic during the lessons. My teacher would say, make sure you separate the beats with just a tiny bit of a gap so that the texture becomes a bit clearer. So that one's a bit of a more, I guess, it's a very specific detail, but I think if you apply it to the rest of the piece, that small, small detail can add to the clarity of the sound. It also sounds more Baroque, it sounds more in style. And generally as pianists, we want to play in style as much as possible. Because imagine if a pop singer started singing a pop song in a jazz style. It would sound a bit odd, right? Or if someone played a classical piece in the style of like a K-pop drama soundtrack or a pop song. So if you kind of mix the styles a bit, sometimes it works, but it's very, very hard to pull it off. Generally, as pianists, we want to work within the style. I mean, there's a lot of flexibility within the style. So I don't want it to sound like there are these rules that put so much limits on what you can do. But while there is boundaries around the style, there are rules that you should follow. There's still a lot of freedom within that. So if you listen to a lot of recordings of this piece, a lot of pianists do it in different ways while still sounding stylistically appropriate. So yeah, so that's just one thing I want you to think about with the non-legato and then the separation of the beats. Okay, so that's the second detail. Another thing is when you get to measure 6, so here you have your cadence. Sorry, measure 6. Here you end up in the happier key of C major.
Yes.
And in your interpretation, in your performance, you did a diminuendo, which is valid. Yeah, that's good. But I want you, could you try actually doing a crescendo? And the reason why is the piece, yeah, if you notice, starting from measure 3, the hands, well, actually from the start, the hands are imitating each other. Yeah, so starting from measure 1, the hands are copying each other in half measure segments. So what does that mean? You have the right hand doing this, and then the left hand, and then the right hand copying. And then something similar happens in measure 3 onwards. And then, so from measure 1 to measure 4, the imitation of the left hand and the right hand takes place in half measure segments. But something special happens at measure 5 to measure 6. They start imitating each other one beat at a time. So you have, and then. So the music kind of accelerates. It's starting to imitate each other at a faster rate. So the energy of the music is actually intensifying there. So even though the sequence is going lower and lower in terms of pitch, like you're going, and then lower pitch, the structure of the music is actually intensifying because you're accelerating the rate of the music's imitation. So again, it's not anymore half measure, like you get half measure in the right hand, half a measure in the left hand, then a half a measure in the right hand, one beat on the left hand, one beat. So it's starting to get faster and faster. So, and add to that, so yeah, you have that increased rate of imitation of the back and forth between the hands. And then the music's also reaching a happier place. So I think in the combination of those two factors makes the arrival of this moment. That moment is a bit more triumphant. It's not the music relaxing into it. It's like the music's finally found its happiness. So again, this is just one interpretation, but I just want you to try it out, and I wanted to explain why that makes musical sense, so that it doesn't come across like I'm just arbitrarily asking you to make the music get louder. There's some basis in the structure of the piece and how the piece is composed. That's why I'm asking you to make the crescendo. Because as pianists, sorry, yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry, I was just going to ask. So does the crescendo start in measure 5?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. So you can do. And then finally, the music smiles. In that moment, in measure 6.
Do I still make like my left hand kind of quiet compared to my right hand, or do I make?
You can crescendo with the left hand also. So yeah, you can start a bit soft on the left hand. Yeah, it's like the feeling of, I guess,
Okay.
running towards a finish line, and then you see the finish line coming up on the horizon. It's that excitement. The music's like, okay, I'm starting to get happy. Would it be okay to start from measure 3?
Measure 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if you want to start earlier, that's fine.
What?
If you want to start earlier, that's okay. Like if you want to start in measure 1, that's okay.
Okay, sorry. It's just I'm not natural. I don't naturally start in measure 3, so. Do I do it again?
Hello? There, okay.
Hello?
I think I'm back. Hi. Okay. Could you try that again? I heard snippets of it, but
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. So I think you get the narrative, the flow of the music, because this is a very happy, a bit of a triumphant moment in the story of the piece. Yeah. Okay. So again, that's an option. You don't have to like. You don't. It's one valid interpretation, but I just wanted you to try it, and more importantly, I wanted to give an example of how a pianist thinks of an interpretation. Because sometimes when we're students, we think these interpretations just come about through our whims or our in the moment impulses. But when pianists interpret the piece, it actually comes from looking closely at the piece and asking, what's happening here? Is it getting more relaxed? Is it getting more energetic? Is something happy over coming around the bend? Is the piece starting to kind of wilt and get a bit more enervated? It's like starting to lose energy. So things like that. It's a lot of interpretation is looking at the piece and trying to listen to it, trying to understand what's happening to it. So is the imitations between the left hand and right hand starting to get faster and faster? Is it starting to slow down? Things like that. So as we get more and more sensitive to a piece, it's like getting to know a person. You get to know how the person acts, how the person thinks, how the person moves, and it's similar with uh, piano playing. The longer we play a piece, the more familiar we are with the moods and the character and the personality of the piece. So that's why I was asking you guys how long you guys have been working on this piece, because it really helps in terms of interpretation. So um, with this piece, and actually not just with this piece, when you're trying to interpret something, it's always a matter of trying to understand the personality of the piece, trying to understand what's happening. Is it getting more tense? Thank you, Teacher Kate. Okay, we have 4 more minutes. Okay, so another example would be when we get to measure 8, the music in the right hand starts to, and that's the highest point in the whole piece, I think. Yeah, that's the highest point. So there you can build up to that point. And it's pretty beautiful because up to that point it's C major. The music's just going between C major and G major, and then suddenly it's A minor. So it's really such a beautiful change compared to measure 7 and measure 8. Yeah, because technically the music could just stay in C major. It could just keep going. Sorry. And then it could just keep staying in that happy place. But here it moves to, and then here it's A minor. So it's it's a very beautiful chord in this context. Okay, so could you start from is measure 7, okay? And then you can build up, you can get louder towards measure 9.
I'll get louder towards measure 8?
Towards measure 9, yeah. Towards the high C in measure 9.
Wait, do I stop there or do I keep going?
No, that's fine. That's fine. You can stop there. Okay, so here's a nice tip. So you've been playing your 8th note staccato, which is good. When you want to do a crescendo and the notes are staccato, one way to do that is to lessen the staccato. So you should still play staccato, but make them a bit longer. So instead of playing all of those notes staccato, you can lessen them as you get to the high note. Yeah, so you notice this is super staccato, less staccato. Yeah, so try that out with just the right hand. So just before the C, the last note is almost legato. Yeah, good.
Okay. Like that? Or longer?
Something like that, yeah. So in other words, you can start super staccato and then get less and less staccato. So da ba bum bum bum. So super staccato first, and then less and less.
Okay, do I try it?
Yeah. Go ahead. Just the right hand. Yeah, that's it. It really helps the crescendo if you lessen the staccato. Okay, so that's a general tip. It's a bit tricky to play with the left hand, but yeah, you can practice that just one hand at a time first, and then once that's easy, you can put the hands together. Okay, how are we doing on time, teacher? I think we're just about out of time. We have just one more. Yeah, just one more detail. I think maybe we have one more minute. In the last measure of the page, here the left hand does this arpeggio going downwards, right? Here it's really important to play this non-legato because it's in the lower part of the piano. So here's a general rule in piano playing. If you're playing in the middle part up to the bass part of the piano, the sound is a bit muddier just because of how the strings in the piano are constructed. So because the sounds in this part of the piano are muddy, you kind of have to offset it or counteract it with more non-legato touch. So instead of playing it legato like that, yeah, you hear the difference between that's legato and this is, yeah, it actually still kind of sounds legato because of the muddiness of the lower register of the piano. But yeah, so could you try that as we end? Just play that non-legato, and then we'll end there. Yeah, that's it. That's a much clearer sound. It's also in style. It's more stylistically apt. So okay, good. So I think that's all we have time for. So just to recap, you can slow down in the end a bit. You can play a bit more non-legato. You can number 3, you can separate the beats. And number 4, you can crescendo towards measure 6, just because of that moment of brightness in the music. And then you can crescendo in measure 8, just because of the high point. And then when you're playing in the middle parts of the piano, just middle to lower parts of the piano, just play a bit less legato, just to counteract the fullness of the sounds of those notes. Okay,
Okay.
that's it. That's
Okay,
it.
thank you, teacher
Thank you.
Mika.
Thank you so much. Yeah. You're most welcome. Thank you. Okay, so we can go to the next student.
Riley, it's your turn.
Okay. Okay, yay, thank you. Thank you, Riley. Thank you. Great. I appreciate your attention to the dynamic markings, the attention to the staccatos, the parts where, yeah. So I think that's just one thing. If I was going to say just one thing about the staccatos in the middle of the piece. Actually, let's go there. Let's start there with, there's no measure numbers here, but after the repeat mark where it says dolce, so this part where you have staccatos in the right hand. So you're on the right track. You definitely should play those staccato. Um, but as a general rule, the staccatos, if the staccato is on a quarter note, it shouldn't be so short. So if you have a staccato on a 16th note, that's super short. If it's a staccato on an 8th note, it's a bit less short. If it's a staccato on a quarter note, then it's even longer. So instead of playing it like this, let me check. Yeah, instead of letting go really quickly, you can. So it just has to be, so staccato doesn't mean super short, it just means less than the full value of the note. So a quarter note staccato, you can play it as an eighth note, then an eighth note rest. So could you try just the right hand for that spot? You just try the right hand and then just lessen the staccato. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's it. That's the idea. Okay, so just keep that in mind. The staccato of a 16th note is different from a staccato of an eighth note, and that's different from a staccato quarter note, and that's different from a staccato half note. So it depends on what note the staccato is on. Is it a quarter note, and so on. So just keep that in mind. All right. I think one of the probably the trickiest parts in this piece is the scale, because it has to be pretty fast, right? How do you practice your scales in this piece? Do you practice it in rhythms? Do you change the rhythm? Do you practice it with a metronome?
Usually I just use a metronome.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right, I think you can also try practicing it in a different rhythm. Have you ever tried um, playing a fast passage in a piece by changing the rhythm? Like instead of playing, for example, you can play. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever tried doing that. If not, that's okay. It's not too tricky. We can do that today.
Yeah, I've only done the 16th note areas with one different rhythm.
Okay, could you show me which rhythm that is? Great. Okay, thank you. That's good to see. Yeah, that's great. So that's the correct rhythm that I wanted to ask you to do. Good, good. So I'm glad to hear that you're already doing that. So what you can do so that you gain even more benefit from that rhythm is to do it just at a faster speed. So just do the same thing, but try it faster. Could you try it like that? Just try to push your fingers, but keep the rhythm. Pum, pum, pa, pum, pa, pum, pa, pum, like that. Good. Okay. Thank you. Can you try that? Yeah, let's just do that first scale. Could you try that even faster? Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, good, good. So the faster you can do those rhythms, the easier the original scale will be. Okay, I think we can also try the reverse rhythm. So right now you're doing this rhythm, pum, pa, pum, pa, pum. We're doing, let me draw that on the sheet music. We're kind of changing the rhythm into this rhythm, like a dotted eighth note and then a 16th note. So that's good. That's the first rhythm you should practice it in. Now we can try the reverse, which is a bit trickier. So we'll give it a few shots because it's a bit confusing at first. So we're going to do a 16th note, then a dotted eighth note. So let me demonstrate that to you because it's a bit confusing at first. So we can do, so ta-dam, pa-dam, pa-dam. Yeah, so could you try that? So the first note, just an eighth note, just play it normally, and then you can do 16th note, eighth note. Or you can think of it just this way, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. Try that out. That's it. That's correct. You got it right away. Good. Try that again. Give it a few tries. Good. Okay, now let's try it a bit faster. Go ahead. Good. And then even faster. Good. And then let's try it once more, even faster. Good. Okay, now can you try just normally and just play it normally and see if it feels easier. Okay, good. How does it feel? Does it feel does it feel under your control a bit more or just the same? If it's just the same, just let me know because sometimes it doesn't really help. It depends on the pianist.
Yeah, I think it felt a bit easier.
Okay, that's good to hear. Could you try it again normally? Just play it a bit faster. Something like that. Okay, yeah, that's better. Okay, so you can practice it in that rhythm also. So you're doing the first rhythm correctly, just play it even faster. And then this new rhythm, just incorporate it into your practice sessions also. And then I think the last thing that's slowing you down a bit is I think your thumb needs to move a bit quicker to its next note. So since it's a scale, we have to do this thumb under movement, right? So could you try this? Just play just like that. And then try to get your thumb to the C as soon as you can. Like that. Better? Yeah, again. Okay, good. Try it even faster. Go ahead. That's it, yeah. So however your thumb is moving right now, try to memorize how that feels, because that's it. That's it. Okay, try it a few more times, even faster. Like that. Go ahead. Okay, good. Now let's do the same thing here. So we're doing, yeah, start from the C sharp. Try it as fast as you can. So you notice my thumb is moving.
Wait, where do we do it?
Oh, sure. Like that. C, D, E, F sharp, G. Just like that. That's it. Try it. Good. Okay. So when you move your thumb, yeah, I see you're kind of moving your arm a bit. That's good. So try to mix that movement with a bit of the thumb under movement. So your arm should help out a bit, but it should also, your thumb should also move a bit more like this, like you're doing a number 4. Okay, try it again. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's faster. Yeah, that's good. Because what I'm listening for is the gap, the delay in the thumb note, and now it's less. Okay, before we move on to some musical issues, could you play just up to the G? That's it. That's it. Yeah. Okay, it's already much faster. Yeah, so you just need to practice the thumb under movement, and then the rhythms, and then if there's any other spots that are slowing down, your teacher Kate will help you. But I think those are the main things to worry about when you have to play this quickly. So the first one, just do the rhythms. So you're doing this properly, you're doing that well, just do it faster. And then the other rhythm we did is, yeah, just keep practicing it. So your goal is always to push the rhythms, those alternative rhythms, as fast as you can. If you play them at a relaxed speed, you won't get so much speed from them. If you just do them slowly, your fingers won't really learn to play fast. You need to play them as fast as you can. Tum, pum, pum, pum. Okay, so that's number 1 with the rhythms. Number 2 is just the thumb movement. You just need to move your thumb a bit faster. Okay, so now let's talk about the interpretation of the piece. So this is an allegro. So allegro, it not only means fast, it primarily means happy. So one way to do that is just to play a bit faster. So this, in other words, this shouldn't sound like a lullaby. It shouldn't sound relaxed. It should sound like an excited dog who wants to run outside and then chase after a cat. It's that kind of energy. So it should be a bit faster. Yeah, let me try to play that for you. I'll just play a bit of it. Yeah, so it's not sleepy. Especially whenever you have repeated notes in this piece, try to rush through. I'll let you know if it's too fast, but repeated notes generally, it's a sign of being very insistent. The music wants to kind of insist on that note. So it's an energetic gesture. It's not. It's okay. Could you try just the start of the piece? Try it a bit faster so it sounds more excited. Go ahead. Yeah.
I continue.
That's fine. That's fine. But that's already better. That's more excited. So the idea is the music should always feel like it's pushing forward. And if it's too much, I'll let you know, and Teacher Kate will let you know. But that's the idea. We want the music to feel like it's excited to get to the next measure. Right? It shouldn't feel like it's content to just rest on the measure. It wants to go ahead to the next measure. Could you try that again? But that is good. That's already much better. Yeah, that's it. Okay, and then, so you're doing the speeding up here and the repeated note. when you get to this measure, make sure it doesn't become, how do I say this? Make sure it's not faster than the other measures. Yeah, because right now it's, yeah, that's okay. Normally that happens. When you speed this up, normally this tends to get faster than the others. But could you try it again? And then make sure you don't change your tempo so much here in measure speed. Go ahead. Yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea. Okay. Okay. And then let's keep going. So could you start from the next system? So this one, yeah, you can play this faster. Because it's just a transitional melody. It's not super important. Yeah, it doesn't have to be played super emotionally, in other words. You can just kind of breeze through it. Go ahead, start from me. And then play up to the rest of the system. Yeah, that's it. Keep going. Okay, good. So once you get to that contrast, you do the forte very well. It's very clear that you're dramatically changing the volume. Make sure you don't change the tempo. Just play a bit faster when you get there. So it should be... yeah, so it should actually be a tiny bit faster than the previous measures. Why is that? Because the music is speeding up. So because it's not anymore. Yeah, the composer could have written it that way, but he wanted it to become even more energetic, even more stormy, even more... Yeah, that's why he speeds up the right-hand notes, because he wants even more speed, more activity. There should be a sense of a flurry of notes happening. So could you start from here? And then faster. Go ahead. Yeah, that's it. That's it. There. Now the change is even more dramatic because it's not slower. It's the speed matches the intensity of the music. Okay. I think we have maybe 5 more minutes. All right, and then let's go to the next spot. You have the second theme, the dolce. Could you try that melody a bit faster? It doesn't have to be super fast, but again, it should feel excited. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So again, this isn't a dreamy kind of lullaby. It's not supposed to be played like this. Yeah, that's a bit that's too romantic. It's too dreamy and poetic. This is still an exciting piece. This is a very exciting piece. So that part should also push forward. Okay, and then when you get here, yeah, could you try that part a bit faster? And then you don't have to play the scales yet because you can practice those. But keep going. Go ahead. Yeah, good. Yeah, very exciting and very well done crescendo. Okay, And then, okay, so you can practice the scales. And then here's another spot where there are repeated notes. So you can speed those up a bit, just so the music gets more exciting. So it's not. So here, I'll play it without speeding up the F sharp. So you notice how it kind of gets a bit sleepy in the F sharp if I don't speed it up. Now I'll play it again, but I'll speed up the F sharp. So now you can hear the music kind of getting excited to return to the scale. Yeah, so just make sure your repeated notes are there should be a sense of drive, of forward movement with the repeated notes. Okay, and then, yeah, I think generally that's the main thing you can work on in this piece. It's just the sense of excitement. It doesn't have to be much faster. It just has to feel like it's driving forward. So I guess it's just a difference in mood. It should be less relaxed. It should be more excited and more, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it should almost be action-packed. This is a very dramatic sonatina movement. There's lots of dramatic changes. There's lots of action happening. So the energy of the music should match the eventfulness of the music. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's go to this part. So here's the bottom of page 1. So it's the same thing. When you get to this change in mood, don't slow down. So it's similar to earlier in the piece when it becomes stormy and agitated. Same thing here. Just make sure you don't slow down in that spot. So in other words, it should sound like this. Yeah, so it's not. Could you play that spot? Or you can start wherever you're comfortable. A bit better. Yeah, that's a bit better. Try it again. So just play the repeated notes a bit faster. Yeah, that's better. That's better. So now it's driving forward. So it shouldn't feel like it's relaxing in that part. Okay, and then here, this part's good. Then, okay, so let's see if we have time. Wait, I'll just check. Yeah, I think we have a bit of time. When we get to page 2, and when you get to this measure, try to play faster here, because what's happening here is the music is, how do you describe it? It's a bit similar to what happens in the previous piece, the previous lesson we did, the Bach. I was talking about how the answer back and forth between the right and hand speeds up. It's something similar here. Because what's happening in page 2? What's happening is the music is going from this. So let me play that. So it's basically going back and forth between this and then this. So that happens at a rate of 1 measure per chord. So it's 1 measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when you get to this measure, it's all of a sudden just 1 beat per chord. Yeah, so you hear how the music accelerates. It's actually kind of a compression of what's happening here. Sorry. is it? Yeah. Could you start from? Yeah, the start of page 2. Just start from.
I can't start from here.
Okay, if you want to start one measure before, that's okay. No worries. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You got the idea. Okay, good. Yeah, so I think we'll have to end there. So I guess the general idea I want you to remember is these classical pieces, they're not dainty pieces. I think a lot of pianists and a lot of students tend to think of them as these dainty, cutesy pieces. And but there's actually a lot of drama in the style. So even though to try to get away from the idea that these are like lullabies or relaxing music, especially in these faster classical pieces. They're supposed to be very vibrant, very youthful, very full of energy. Like the image I gave you before was of a dog rushing outside to chase a cat. It's a lot of that energy. Okay, there's a bit of storminess in the middle where you have. Yeah, so you have to bring out that drama in this piece. It's again not low energy piece. It's not dreamy. It's not poetic. It's a very energetic little dog who wants to run after a cat. So it's that kind of mood, and the performance has to match that. Okay. Okay. I think that's all we have time for.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for listening, and yeah, thank you for your performance. Okay. So next. Okay, so it's now Jerry's turn. Okay.
Yep. Is this a good enough distance first?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you. All right. It's very sensitively played. And thank you. And again, like the other students, all three of you are very particular about dynamics, about articulation, about the crescendos and decrescendos. Yeah, it's very, very nice to see how detailed all of your performances are. So congratulations. Thank you for all the hard, because I know it's not automatic. It's not easy for so many students to get all of those details. So yeah, I'm very delighted to see how you've been able, all three of you have been able to follow the instructions on the sheet music. Okay, I think we can start with romance. Here, I think you can try a faster approach to it. So there's no specific tempo marking given here, it just says romance. And I think there's a tendency to think romance should be almost like a slow and dreamy and kind of a relaxed piece. But here, I think the music is a bit more energetic, especially because we have this waltzing. We have that accompaniment. Yeah, because it's not a piece like this, for example. Yeah, so here I'm just playing simple chords on the left hand, and that gives the piece even greater sense of relaxation. But Beethoven didn't write it that way. He wants more energy. So instead of writing the left hand just as chords, he did. Yeah. So there's a bit more energy than just the. Yeah, so there's a bit more flow, I think, to this, especially because it's the melody's pretty long. It's what, 8? Yeah, 8 measures. So in other words, it shouldn't relax each time you end the phrase. So in other words, it shouldn't sound like this. And then, yeah, so I'm relaxing there. So that's basically what's happening. I'm slowing down every 2 measures, and that's cutting the long line of this opening melody. Because again, the melody is 8 measures long, so we need the energy to be sustained for 8 measures. We need to feel like all of those 8 measures comprise one emotional unit. So
So play faster.
Could you try just that opening melody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like.
That's better, yeah. So you're right. Basically, it boils down to playing faster, but I wanted to explain why it is, because if I just said play faster, you might wonder what's the reason for that? Is it arbitrary? So the reason for that is because we need to feel, well, number one, we need to feel the whole phrase, the 8-measure melody as one unit. Number two, it's the energy implied by the left hand accompaniment figure. So yeah, it's play faster, but I just wanted to explain why. And then, okay, you can slow down a tiny, tiny bit at the end of the melody. I know there's no explicit bit or tandem working, but just to mark off the end of the phrase, you can slow down just in the last 2 or 3 notes. So let me kind of illustrate that. So it's not ta tam pa ta da ta ta. It's ta 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 ta. So just a tiny, tiny touch of slowing down, just to mark off the end of the phrase. Could you start? Where is it easy for you to start? Could you start? Sorry, from.
I can try there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, that's good. Just the right amount. Okay, you got it on the first try. Great. Okay, and then we can keep going. So here we have an upward scale. So Beethoven gives us several signs that this is supposed to be a pretty exciting moment. First, there's the crescendo. Number 2, there's the staccato marks. So, and then of course there's the very fact that it's going upward, the scale is going upward. So those 3 factors kind of imply that you should speed up just a tiny bit. So it's, and then here you can relax. Yeah, so could you try that? So it's not. Go ahead.
Oopsies.
Yeah. Okay, try speeding up even more. Yeah, I'll let you know if it's too much, but try speeding up even more. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, good. So
Should I keep continuing if I'm playing at that part, or like stop it there?
no, that's okay. Yeah, you stopped in the right spot. But good. So you got that right. Yeah. Basically, in this classical style, because so Beethoven's his music fits into the classical era style. That style is known for a lot of dramatic contrasts, shifts in mood, changes in character. So the way we play needs to match that. Of course, we don't want to overdo it. It shouldn't sound like multiple personalities happening in one piece, but there needs to be a lot of shifting in the mood and character of the piece. It's in contrast to the first piece that was performed in today's masterclass. That's by Bach. It's from the Baroque period. That one, the style is a bit more, it's less about dramatic shifts in the character and emotion in the music, but it's more about subtle changes in one overarching mood. So that's a very simplistic generalization about those 2 styles. But yeah, basically, a lot of Baroque music is just in one emotional world, and then it kind of explores different facets and aspects of that emotional world. So when we had, in that piece, we never had like a second melody. It never goes into a different, it's more or less just around this character. But here in this classical piece and in the other classical piece, here there's, I think the attraction of this style to composers back then and even to listeners now is the drama. There's a lot of changing and shifting of the musical event. So I just want to explain why we need to somehow change speeds in some parts. How come sometimes we need to speed up, sometimes we need to slow down, and so on and so forth. So, okay, let's keep going. When you have this, again, we have here repeated notes. As I said, in the previous piece, repeated notes can be played with a bit of speeding up. So it's not, it can be. So I'm playing the repeated notes just a tiny bit faster. It's not ta 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 ta. It's ta 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 ta. Okay, can you try that spot, please?
Play it like that, like what you said.
Yeah. So just play the repeated notes a tiny bit faster than the other notes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can I start from the
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
can
go
I
ahead.
start
Wherever you're comfortable.
somewhere else?
Don't worry about it.
So I'm like the comfortablest there.
Yeah, sure. You can start from here. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
You can
there,
start
there.
from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Try again. I
Yeah,
forgot
that's
the
the idea.
dynamics there.
So, yeah, sure, you can try it again. And
Yeah.
you can speed up the repeated notes even more. I'll let you know if it's too much, but right now there's still room to speed up. So, go ahead. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but I can hear you're playing the repeated notes faster than before. But okay, yeah, that's okay. You can work on that. I just wanted to get those repeated notes a bit faster. But okay, just for the sake of time, let's keep going. So here in the next part, we have 3 broken chords on the left hand. You can slow down the arpeggiation on the last one a bit. So in other words, don't play them all in the same way. You can play the last one a bit differently. So I'm playing the first one just normally, the second one normally, and then the third a bit slower. So yeah. You did the crescendo, which is very good. You can slow down in the last repetition. So here it's normal, and then louder, and then louder, and slower. So just a tiny bit slower. So yeah, just so the music kind of blossoms a bit more in that spot. Okay, try it. Yeah, you did the slowing down pretty well on the right hand. Just slow down even more on the left hand. Yeah, you can slow down even more.
So like that slow?
Yeah, and even more. You can slow it. Ta, 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 ta.
Okay.
I'll let you know if it's too slow, but yeah, it can be even slower than that. Even slower. Again? So almost like try it again. Yeah, try to play it almost like yeah, well, yeah, kind of like eighth notes, I guess.
Okay.
There, yeah, that's it. So it might feel super slow, but it sounds good. It sounds good. Okay, so you can practice that. I think you should go on to the first movement. So I can also look at that. Okay, so here, what did I want to say? Because it's, yeah, here I think you have the right tempo overall approach. I think we don't have to change the, yeah, I think you understand the mood and the character of the piece. So it's just smaller details. So for example, in the opening phrase, actually no, could you play just the first 8 measures? Let's see.
Okay.
The first 8? Wait.
Yeah,
Okay.
up to the repeat mark.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, that's better. The phrasing is good. So what I mean is, you're not accenting the last notes of each phrase. So that's good. Main thing here is here you can speed up a tiny bit once you get here, because the left hand goes from slow chords to suddenly this eighth note pattern. So the music is getting more exciting there. Yeah, so that would have worked, but he wanted it more energetic. Yeah, so there the music gets more excited. Could you start from, where is it comfortable for you? Maybe from here? Yeah, so try to speed up on the right hand eighth notes. So it's not. Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, that's okay. I think measure 7's probably the hardest part of this piece. But okay, try it again. That is a bit better. It's okay. Yeah, but you got the idea. The music's more excited now. Okay. Yeah, don't worry about measure 7. That's, you can fix that pretty easily. But the important thing is the music starting to drive forward there a bit better. Okay, and then next. So this part you do well. Okay, and then here we have a bit of a sequence. So we have the same idea happening again and again. Here it's lower and lower. So we have this scale. Sorry. So it's the same idea 3 times, but lower each time.
Yeah.
But here the music is relaxing. Yeah, you can play each time a bit softer, at least on the starting note. So here it starts on a B. Oops. Yeah, B. And then here it starts on an A, and then here on a G. So just make sure this one is the loudest. The B, the actual note, the B is loud. This one is a bit less, and then the G is pretty quiet. So it's gonna be like, then less. Yeah, so 3 volumes. Sorry. Then less. Then less. Yeah,
Okay.
try that out.
So. Like that.
Yeah,
Can I try
there,
again?
good. Yeah, it's pretty clear the way you're leveling off. Yeah, but that's very good. Try it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you have very good control of your piano. Very good. Okay, and then we are almost out of time. And then it repeats. Here, you can slow down a bit. So you play the scale. Okay, just play that normally, and then you can slow down just a tiny bit because it's going into the repeat of the main theme. Could you start from here?
Wait, try to find it again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, try it again. Just okay, good. Yeah, there. And then after that, once you reach this measure, just go back to your tempo. Okay, so we have, yeah, I think we're about out of time. Just one last thing here. We have, at the end of the piece, we have these staccato marks with a slur. So it's similar to what I was saying for the Kulao sonatina. When you have staccato marks on quarter notes, it's not as short as, for example, staccato 8th note or staccato 16th note. So this one shouldn't be super short, especially since we have this slur. So it shouldn't be, it's a bit more, yeah, so it's not super legato. It's not like you're trying to, there's a bit of a gap between the notes. And then, so it's not super staccato. Yeah, I think the staccato quarter notes can be super short only if it's a super fast piece. Because once it's a super fast piece, everything, yeah, almost becomes shorter. Yeah, but
So, like,
yeah, for this moderato tempo piece, yeah, could you try it out? Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so this part is a bit more lyrical because the thing with the super short staccatos, it sounds very cutesy. It sounds very, it's almost humorous. So you'll hear super short staccatos in pieces that are a bit more mischievous. Yeah, but here it's a bit more lyrical in this moment. So we don't want it to sound humorous or, because some pieces should sound humorous, like a bit of a clowning kind of mood. But here it's, yeah. So could you try it one more time, and then I think we'll have to end there. Yeah, that's the idea. Okay, and then of course it's the same thing in the last part. So it's not it's it's not okay. Yeah, I don't want to go over time, but yeah, that's the idea. So the staccato marks, just make sure it's relative to the duration. Is it a quarter note staccato? Is it an eighth note staccato? And you can also think of the mood. This super short staccato fit the mood of the passage. So, okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you and actually all of the participants today, very detailed pianists. So the only feedback I could really give is just even more detail. Okay? So yeah, it's very nice to work with pianists who know that they need to be very particular about dynamics, about articulation, about interpretation. So that's why I've been very detailed in my feedback to you and the other pianists. So again, thank you, and it's been a pleasure listening to all of you and teaching and giving feedback on your performances. So thank you. Thank you, Sherry, Colleen, and Riley.
Thank you, Teacher Mika, we learned so much
You're
actually.
welcome.
Everybody learned a lot of details, no? What can you guys say? Colleen, Sherry, Riley.
Teacher Mika.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're most welcome. Thank you too. I enjoyed listening and teaching you guys. You guys are so quick at absorbing these details. So it's really nice to work with the three of you.
Yeah, they're very hardworking. They practice a lot, right?
Yay! That's what we piano teachers always want to hear. Great, great.
Yeah. Teacher Mika, we still have one more, but she's supposed to join the performance class last night,
Oh
so
yeah, right. That okay.
she cannot make it. So we're just gonna listen to her. Would you
Okay,
like to
sure.
stay for
Yeah, I can listen. Yeah, it's you said it's light lyro or
yeah, it's slightly low, right, Danny? Yeah, okay, sige. We
yeah,
can
sure. Yeah, sure.
listen. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you. Danny, you can start. Good luck.
Yay. Thank you, Danny.
All right. How are we gonna do this? Would you like to start, Teacher Mika?
Oh yeah, what do you normally do? Oh, like with a bit of feedback.
Yeah, a little bit of feedback.
Okay, okay, yeah. It is pretty good. I didn't sense any nervousness on your part. There again, as with all of your students teaching it, there's a lot of detail. I can hear the staccatos. I can hear there's a bit of slowing down in the end, which is really nice to hear. I think just my main thing would be to give a bit more sound to the right hand, so the piano sounds a bit more full on the melody. Just that, I think that's the main thing. But otherwise, it's pretty good. It's pretty well performed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How about Colleen? What can you say about Danny's performance?
Honestly, yeah, just a bit of nervousness, but like it was really good considering like a beginner too, or like someone younger, cause I remember like playing piano when I was like 6. I wasn't really good at it. My fingers were a lot more shaky, so yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Riley.
So I think your tempo was good. It sounded steady. But I think you should work on your dynamics a little bit more. I didn't hear any changes in it.
Yeah, you can play around with your dynamics more, especially dun sa D D D D D E F. You can go softer on that area, and then when you get to E E E E E F G, you can go a little bit louder on that part, Danny. Okay, thank you, Riley. Sherry.
Like adding on to what Colleen said, yeah, for your age, it's really good. I remember playing that song only a few years. I think it's like 10, 11, 12, and you're younger than that, and you play that really well. I think I remember struggling on that before, and I was way older than you, so you did really, really well.
Yeah, good job, Danny. Maybe next time you can have oh how should I say this? You can join a master class also in the future. Yeah. And she stayed for the whole master class.
Oh,
She was,
wow.
yeah, good attention. I was looking at her. Like, oh, Danny, you were like, you
Wow,
really
that's so nice
stayed.
to yeah. It's
Ayun.
nice to
So
see.
I hope, Danny, you also learned a lot, even if the discussions were very, how should I say this? The complex. Yeah. For your level. Yes, Colleen.
I was also paying really like close attention. I could see her like watching the what's it called, the master class, like throughout the whole thing. She didn't really get distracted, so I don't know. I think that's nice.
Yeah, she didn't even stand up or go to the restroom. She was really into it. So good job, Danny. Wow.
Wow.
Thank you.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I've
Huh?
been to master classes where even the teen students, the high school students, they just go on their phones when other people are playing. So it's so nice to hear that someone's watching a master class with full attention because there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn as pianists.
Yeah, so good job for that, Daniela. Oh, I hope you learned a lot. We learned a lot from Teacher Mika. So can we all clap for Teacher Mika? Thank you, Teacher Mika.
You're welcome, most welcome.
Yeah. So I guess for today, one last thing. Can we take a photo before
Oh
we end the
yeah, sure.
meeting? Yeah. So since this is a screenshot, I need everyone to like to not move for 5 seconds because it usually takes longer. Okay, everyone. Let's take a picture. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Don't move. Okay. Can we have a wacky face? Yeah? Okay, 1, 2, 3, wacky face. Okay, thank you so much. Wow. We hope we can do this
Thank
again next
you.
year.
Thank
Es-
you.
yeah, especially in
Thank
preparation for
you. It's great.
recitals, 'di ba? Mas okay to do it
Yeah.
before a recital. Ayun. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a good
Merry
vacation.
Christmas.
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a happy new year. Happy
Happy New
practicing.
Year. Yeah, keep on practicing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Bye,
you. So,
everyone. Thank you.
bye bye.
Bye.